Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. The Virginia man who allegedly assaulted two Democrat congressional staffers with a metal baseball bat on Monday appears to be yet another product of the Soros DA revolving door of injustice. It turns out the suspect was previously freed by local district attorney Steve Descano, who was elected back in 2019 with significant support from George Soros, the left-wing ideologue and mega donor funding many other Democrat district attorneys who are soft on crime. The man reportedly has a reputation in the area, and about 30 minutes before the attack on the congressman's office, the suspect chased a woman in his neighborhood around her yard with a metal baseball bat as she screamed and ran away. He had asked her if she was white and attacked her when she answered that she was, and so now he's facing hate crime charges as well. It appears this man is mentally ill, which is why Descano released him after his arrest in January of 2022 after he attacked a Fairfax County police officer with a stun gun. He was deemed to have mental health issues and agreed to enter into treatment, so all charges were dropped against him and he was let go. Now he's being charged with one count of aggravated malicious wounding and one count of malicious wounding for attacking two staffers in the district office of Democrat Virginia Congressman Gary Connolly. The man wanted to speak with Connolly, but when he was told that the congressman wasn't there, he allegedly beat two of his employees and sent them to the hospital. Most staffers were treated for their injuries and have since been released. Scenarios such as this one are commonplace under Descano's watch. Since he took office in 2019, the local murder rate has doubled, and several career prosecutors have left his office. Even Democrats are no longer totally immune to the policies they foist onto the rest of us. And that brings us to the House Homeland Security Committee hearing on left-wing violence held yesterday, during which Democrat Representative Dan Goldman attacked multiple expert witnesses and dismissed the testimony of a reporter who has covered Antifa and Black Lives Matter riots from the ground. Frequent Tipping Point guest Julio Rosas, a Marine veteran and senior writer at Town Hall, spoke about his experiences at several of these riots over the course of multiple years, going back to 2020. During his testimony, he was able to highlight how Antifa is much more than just an idea, but of course he faced pushback as committee members completely disrespected him and mocked his credentials. Take a listen.
You're trying to get us, gaslight us up here as if Antifa, which Mr. Rosas, apparently the expert now in organized terrorist activity, has overruled the FBI director who says, there's a headline, says Antifa is an ideology, not an organization. No. Let's not listen to the FBI director. Let's listen to, sorry, what's your title? Senior writer at Town Hall, who is going to tell us that the FBI director is wrong. And I'd like to introduce, there's no question.
Mr. Rojas, I noticed that you wanted to respond to something that one of my colleagues said about you a little while ago. I'd like to give you time to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, thank you, Congressman. Well, I think it's funny to be lectured by an heir to the Levi Strauss Corporation, and honestly, that's probably why he doesn't consider property damage to be that big of a deal, because not only does he have that, but he also has what some would describe an impossibly good stock portfolio.
Joining us now to discuss is radio host Lurie, the author of Atheism Destroys: How Godlessness Destroys the Pillars of Civilization and How to Fight Back. Brock, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me, Kara.
Great. So how perfect was that comeback we just heard by Julio Rosas?
Well, it is a perfect one, I suppose. I mean, he was very much on his game, it appears to be. But look, the whole issue about Antifa and such, and the idea that white supremacy is somehow the national discussion that we have because they want to make it so, that's what's so disingenuous to me. And that's always the talking point that I'd like to lead off with if I could. Antifa is, in fact, a group of people. It's not just an ideology. People are getting beaten up by an ideology, if that's the case, right? That's what we're seeing. And then this notion that white supremacy is the greatest national domestic threat to this country. I'd like to see the photos of this. I'd like to see the rallies. I'd like to see the signage of any kind of massive white supremacy. At this point, it seems more like a Jussie Smollett situation, where, in this case, it's Joe Biden and others in his camp who are the Jussie Smollets, alarming everyone about this situation, and that we should all direct our attention to that. It just won't fly.